What living thing is the best analogy that can be used to symbolize a nation? That was a question my civics teacher once asked our class. When I heard that question, I was immediately confused about what she meant. A bird? A flower? A lion, maybe? I don't know. The whole class went silent. Then she answered, "A tree." That's right, a tree. A tree takes decades, even centuries to grow, just like how long it takes a nation to develop. Trees also come in different shapes and sizes, just like how every country is different from one another. A tree also has many branches and leaves, just like how a nation is branched off into different groups in society. But the thing that stood out to me the most was when she said that no matter how big or strong a tree is, the one thing that's been holding it together since its birth are its roots. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this question. What is the most important thing a nation needs to survive? You might be thinking, a large military, a smooth economy, or even a good government. And while all of that is true, we're missing one crucial thing: a nation's culture. Culture is defined as a set of customs used by a particular nation, people, or even social group. Culture has existed in society since ancient times and remains as the invisible string that's been holding us together for centuries. A person's culture has strong ties with their moral value. It shapes their way of thinking, behavior, personality, and even their way of life. Think of culture as the lenses we use to view the world around us. You see, we've had these lenses since birth, and we wear them every single day, hence they have affected the way we see pretty much everything. Later on, many people try to remove these lenses, but then put them back on because they're more comfortable that way. Our culture has been a part of us since our birth, and when we try to let go of our culture, we find out that it's not easy as it seems, because our culture has essentially become a part of ourselves. Culture not only has an impact on individual lives, but it also plays a crucial role on a nation as a whole. Culture is the identity of a nation because it represents a nation's most valuable asset, its people. Culture represents a nation's people from generation to generation through their beliefs, traditions, and even their way of life. Each and every nation has their own unique culture, and that's what makes them stand out from other nations, giving themselves their own special identity. Did you know that according to the Indonesian Bureau of Statistics, there are around 1,340 different ethnic groups in Indonesia? It's amazing to think that thousands of ethnicities and cultures are able to come together and unite as one nation. Amidst this diversity, we were able to find our similarities, some things that we shared in common, and use that as a weapon to fight against colonizers and come together as one. Sadly, because of the rise of globalization and Western culture, our own culture is dying. I'm sure we've all sensed that local languages, traditions, and art are less and less being used in our everyday lives. You might be thinking, well, this is the 21st century. Everything is changing quickly. We need to focus on the future and not the past that's long gone. But what if I told you that we can still focus on the future without having to let the past die? You see, culture is the thing that united us together, and it is the thing that will keep on holding us together. We can keep on focusing and building for the future, but once our culture has completely died out, there will be no more Indonesia and will be replaced by some other nation. Like I said in the beginning, a tree is like a nation. If a nation is a tree, then its culture is its roots that's been supporting it together since its birth. A tree without its roots will fall down and die, just like how a nation with a culture that's no more will die. And people who have no knowledge of their past history and culture will just become dead people. In this era of society, we must embrace our culture and do everything we can to preserve it. Whether it's through studying more about our culture, using it in our everyday lives, or even encouraging others and showing the world our culture. If we are to preserve it, then as the people of this nation, we must continue to create it. Because we're not just protecting some old piece of history. We're protecting something that is essentially a part of ourselves. Because after all, a nation's culture resides in the hearts and souls of its people. Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope this can be a great inspiration for all of us. My name is Najwaa Shafina Aqiila. Goodbye and have a nice day.